Welcome to Real Contrast. I'm Kyle A.
I'm Brian K.
Glad to have you guys here tonight.
Yeah. Hey, so welcome to episode 1.
Whoop whoop.
Real Contrast. Why do we call it Real Contrast, Kyle?
I'm going to assume it's because we have way different views on this this profession that we call real estate.
Different views and similar views.
Yeah,
Give it a little contrast on this.
absolutely.
And the real is because we're real
Real awesome.
and in real estate.
Yeah,
See how clever we are?
very.
Okay, so what's the reason behind this podcast? What's the goods here?
Well, I would say one of them is the number one is for us to come together and actually, spend time together because we love each other.
And we have to do that publicly, or
Yeah, sure. Why
okay?
not?
All right, here we are.
Public displays of
My
dyslexia.
buddy Kyle.
The biggest one is just to reach people, new buyers, new sellers, new agents. This is going to be a little time spent together, kind of hashing some of our experiences out, along with, and I say a lot, along with some insights on how to gain business or how we do business. So it's going to have a lot of information, and it should be a fun time.
I think any agent
Absolutely.
can find value from this, buyers or sellers. And what I'd like to hone in on is our morals and ethics.
Absolutely.
Are very similar, and that's why we want to bring this, because our day-to-day, 180,
Completely.
right?
360.
And when it comes down to how we're going to do it from the heart, morally and ethically, boom, we're pretty aligned on that. So.
Right.
All right. So just before we dive in, I got a fun story.
Tell me.
Okay, first time. This is my first time. Drive down to Amida yesterday to go walk some property. Client I've been working with for a few years. We're knee deep in snow, and this guy's got a cane. He's going to go out walking property. Eventually, we walk 775 yards with 200-foot
Holy.
elevation climb. You know what I saw when I was getting my boots on? My client put a bulletproof vest on.
Oh, man, that would have scared me.
Mm-hmm. Osteoporosis. Turns out he didn't want his bones. He's got real brittle bones and everything else. But, brother, man, I had every story going through my head when I turned around and saw a camouflaged bulletproof vest going on my client going, well, we're here.
How much does a bulletproof vest weigh?
I got to imagine they're not light. I've never worn one.
And he's how old?
Older.
Older and with a cane.
With a cane.
I love it.
And we did some epic hiking. All right, so let's dive into this.
Okay.
You ready? Let's just jump right in and talk about competition, because you work for a different brokerage than I do. Obviously, we're in real estate and we're slimy salesmen, right?
I don't know about you, but I'm not.
Oh, okay. So
I'm super slimy.
Okay, so we're in a business where a lot of people talk about competition.
Absolutely.
Do you believe there's competition between agents?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
Nope.
Why is that, Brian?
And to some point, I would say there's plenty of reasons, and you could logically justify it. It's just not how I feel when I'm dealing with other people. How about that?
I think that's a good way to go. I think that speaks right to your morals to begin with.
Yeah.
So dive in a little deeper. Let's unpack that, as you would say. Let's unbox this a little bit.
Okay. What is your version? Why isn't there competition, Kyle?
Well, if there is any competition, I'd have to say it's competition with yourself. If you're going to set some goals, I mean, you would be competing against your laziness or your fears.
Okay.
In order to achieve those goals, especially in this industry, there's a lot of stuff you have to overcome. As far as between two other people, there's no competition. There is 160,000 houses around us.
Got a lot.
And we have a surplus population of people. It's not hard to go out and build a relationship. That's not a competitive sport. Unless we're all like trying to gather around one person, but that's not happening.
Okay, so what if you go to, what if you're an agent and you go to a listing appointment? You're going to go talk to a seller who wants to sell their house, and they have two other agents that they're interviewing. Is there competition there?
No. And rightfully they should. I mean, they should interview many agents, to find out who works best for them. I think that's what it boils down to is there chemistry there? Can you build some trust with that person? Sometimes, I shouldn't say sometimes. I've walked into several of those where they've had every play in the book sitting out there. Really nice brochures, magazines that show all the houses they've sold. And, I just straight talk with people and still walk away with a listing and a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not seeing the competition. How about you?
So not in your traditional sense of competition, where there's a scoreboard and I got more listings than you. Although I am a competitive person, I grew up in sports, and so it still stings a little bit for me when there's another listing or there's another agent on my street, or when I see a house that maybe I had talked to a seller about. However, like competition when it's, if you and I are in competition for the best of whatever. No, I look at this as we're all playing in the same sandbox, right? You're playing in the same sandbox as me. That's what we're here to do, is help other agents as well as buyers and sellers, right? This is a big world. There's plenty of opportunity out there, and we all
want to play in
become
the sandbox.
better. We all become better if we work together.
Absolutely. I think that's a win-win. In any industry, any neighborhood, any community, let's work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So competition. I guess there was some times in my earlier career. It's not like it's been that long, but when I first started, and I'm like, man, I talked to that guy, and he said he wasn't selling his house, and then I walked back 3 days later, and there's a for sale sign on it. It used to chap my butt, but now I giggle, and I say, good for them, and good for the person who's listing it.
They found their connection with someone else.
Absolutely.
And we all do things differently.
Yep.
And ultimately, it's up to the client to find the people, to find their tribe. If they don't like the way that I'm coming across, maybe I talk too slow, too fast, they just don't like the furry thing on my chin, whatever it is.
Yeah, what is that, by the way?
It's a beaver.
I thought it was a Muppet.
It doesn't talk. No, Muppets talk, and this is just a quiet beaver.
Okay.
It sits right on my chin.
We'll take that.
It's called the beaver, the chin beaver.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Luckily, no one's watching this because
They're
could
going to be.
stir up a new nickname. So let's boil into something. I like that about competition, and we were just now talking about something else that I wanted to highlight, and that is on my phone, because we don't have like a whiteboard, emotional connection.
Ooh.
To be or not to be.
To BK or KA?
So what does it mean to you to make an emotional connection? And I think where we were coming across was an agent-client relationship. Is that where you were?
Well, I think it boils down to that. Being authentic, being genuine is where you're going to find that opportunity to really make those emotional connections. And like we're discussing, this isn't a romance, right? So don't get confused by emotional connection. We're emotional beings, and therefore, if we're putting a guard up, and this is kind of how I see it, if we're putting a guard up everywhere we go, we're not being able to be ourselves, and there's really not a connection being made. Me meeting you, we made an emotional connection.
Yeah.
And then we broke bread together as you were helping me learn the ropes.
Yeah.
We became friends. It's that simple.
And now I can't shake you.
I'm on his leg like this.
Like a little yapper dog.
Brian.
Okay, so Why is it important to make an emotional connection?
Well, it builds trust for one. I mean, when you're if me and you wouldn't be sitting here today if there wasn't some emotional
Not at all.
connection, something that says we care about each other in a way. Like I care about what you have to say, so I'm going to listen to you, and it's going to affect me one way or the other. It might make me mad, it might make me sad, but that's going to be emotional connection. And let me tell you, even when you're with clients and you piss them off, or you get pissed off, if you can fight it out a little bit, they'll be your client forever.
Mm.
At least in my case.
So you're suggesting you get in a fight with your client. To all the new agents out there, best thing for you to do is fight with your clients.
Fist fight.
Okie
Okay.
dokie.
Don't do
Now
that.
it's a physical connection.
But-
we went from emotional connection to physical.
But-
You just punch them and then you get it on.
Good example is let me explain this a little bit. Is I picked up a client quite a few years back on an open house,
How heavy were they?
and enough to throw over my shoulders. I nailed that. So, anyways, how would I say that, Brian? How would I say that I gained a client's business? Probably like that. How about that?
Okay.
I gained a client's business at an open house, and we didn't really.
You gained a client's trust. at
No,
the
I
open
gained
house.
I gained the trust after the fight.
Okay.
So this is where I'm going with
All
it.
right. Gained the business.
Yeah.
They wanted to do business with you afterwards.
Yes, and we went through. We did a whole bunch of showings, and she put an offer down on this place. It was really needed a lot of work. They declined the offer. She came back, put another offer down. They accepted this one finally, and there were some things that we were trying to hash out, and she did not think I was doing my job. And she called me up and called me every single name in the book. She told me that I was done working with you, Kyle, and that I should be a man of my word. And this lady is hollering at me. And
Is
and
she spitting?
so, but it's over the phone.
Okay.
I'm like 300 miles away. I'm in Montana helping my brother at this time. And I call her back after I calm down. I let her calm down. I called her back and I said, put on your big girl pants and let's get you a house. And I explained to her everything that had happened and why it wasn't going the way she wanted, and explained some laws to her. And we've closed that house and we are friends. I've helped her remodel her other house. She's sending baby books to my kid, man. She's a good friend. We talk probably every 2-3 months. And you know what? That argument that we had brought us closer together.
Well, it's much like a relationship between your spouse.
Yeah, in a sense.
You're not going to necessarily. There's different love languages when you talk about spouses, right? But people pick up things different, and
Right.
things are communicated differently, and sometimes it just takes uncorking it and getting it out there on the table to do it.
Well, imagine that emotional connection that we've built. We went through the hard
Oh
times.
my gosh, yeah.
So that's where I'm getting at. I'm not saying, go punch your client like Brian over here was suggesting. But what I'm saying is don't be afraid to have those deep conversations. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable with your clients. And you know what? When things get heated up, it's okay to step back, but it's sometimes you have to engage that a little bit. Or maybe you don't. Maybe I just did.
Well, and again, there's different agents out there, different strokes for different folks.
Absolutely.
I don't think that everybody builds an emotional connection on the same level.
Agreed.
And here's what I take from it, and we might just
Woo.
we might park right here on this park. Okay, so I think if you build a really good emotional relationship or emotional connection with someone, that solidifies your relationship. You build the trust.
Absolutely.
And that's a client for life.
Yep.
So for all the agents out there watching, new or old, wouldn't you rather have someone call you than be out door knocking, doing open houses, or making cold calls for the next 47 years? repeat referral business is the key to this business. And I don't have a problem telling my clients up front, hey, I want to do such a fantastic job for you that I want you to pass my name out, right? Like that's,
Right.
I want you top of mind, man, Brian K. Hey, I'm thinking about selling my house. You need to call my agent, Brian. Like, pull me over, drag me over.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm sure you do too. I have several handfuls of clients like that who just love you. It's because of that connection, man.
Mm-hmm. And they will go to the ends of the earth for you because you will go to the ends of the earth for them and help them out and vice versa.
Yep.
So I think that it's emotion. I think it's important to have an emotional connection with clients
Absolutely.
and other agents.
I agree 100%.
But I don't think that you have an hour every time you call a listing agent to see if, this property passed, a perk test or something, right?
Wait a second. You don't like conversations with me, Brian?
We don't have that long.
See? Emotional connection. Just save that.
I
right
am
there.
literally coming over here and forcing myself to have no, I'm just joking. I love this, man.
Oh, forceful measures.
I love this.
Love
These
you
are
too,
good
bro.
conversations.
Hold on. I don't think we're done with emotional connection. I think I went to an extreme level, right? I mean,
well, that's
honest-
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That kind of
You
happens.
went to a Kyle level.
Went to a Kyle level.
Okay.
But even having a meal together, that's great. Just being honest, like if somebody can, good example. I'm only going to go by examples, right? So, client's getting divorced. He wants to hire me. I have to set up a meeting with her to get her approval, and she did not like me at all. She's looking at me across the table, and she's scowling at me. But
Well, it's because he liked you.
absolutely. Well, this is how it gets good. And I told her, and I went through everything, and she decided to sign with me. And 3 days into it, before we got on the market, she come out crying and gave me a big, huge hug. And she says, I did not like you at all, Kyle. She goes, I wanted nothing to do with you. I actually hated your guts. But everything you said to me, you're doing, and you have helped me out so much. I love you, and I'm sorry, and I want you to help me buy my home.
Mic drop.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And that was all with just having integrity and being genuine. I'm not there trying to force any certain situation out of her. I wasn't trying to win her business. I was just trying to explain to her what the market looks like, what this is, and what do we need to do if she's going to hire me to sell it.
Well, and I think that's important for people to understand is that's a big piece of your business. That's why people choose to use you because you get one Kyle. It's not Kyle telling stories one day and then
Right.
Kyle acting like this the next day. It's Kyle. You like me, you love me. Great, let's move forward.
You hate
But
me?
I don't change, and this is what it is. And
Right.
you just lay it all out there on the table. It's
Blah.
yep, laying it down, yo.
I can say the same for you, Brian.
All right, so I got a quick question for you here
Uh-oh.
because we got a couple more minutes on this one.
Ooh.
You brought up divorces, and this is a topic that's not fun to talk about, yet it happens, and it sounds like you've dealt with at least one divorced couple. What's the most important thing as an agent that you can do for a couple going through a divorce that has to sell their home or property?
Well, I'd say, okay, there's a couple of them.
Wait, you get one.
Okay, one would be to make sure that that they know that you are here solely to help them with real estate. And no matter what they say to you, you are not going to repeat it to the other side. That's a big one. So I'm going to go with that one.
Okay, I like that one.
Yeah.
I've dealt with quite a few divorces as well. What I tell people is for me and my business, communication is at the utmost importance of working with a divorced couple. And here's
Absolutely.
what I mean by that. Sometimes you get a divorced couple where you can talk to both of them in the same room. It works out like that. That's rare.
Right.
The other times it's I have to talk to you, I have to talk to you. And when you're talking business, you may be talking to the husband and they tell you something, off the cuff about their personal life. That stays there. But you need to make sure that you talk to both of them about the real estate. So if one person says, "Hey, I'm curious about this market condition. Have you checked these comps?" Send that information out to both. You don't want a one side or the other, right? Unless someone said, "I don't want to know anything about this. Just send me for signatures." I think communication, and it's challenging because everyone is different. And then you get two people. One might like emails, one might like phone calls, one might like, and so communication for me is highest fact.
Well, I think you brought up a really good point. And so what I like to do in that area is nail them down to the board. Look, we're going to have to communicate, and it's going to be very difficult for me to take what's in one ear from this person as we're communicating and transfer it over here without skipping something. So I still bring them in together on a text message. That way it's building trust for me. This is all about building the trust so they can see that I'm being trustworthy and there's nothing going back. So I'll also say, look, we're going to have a group text message, and anything real estate is going to happen in this text message. Okay?
Let's keep the personal stuff outside of this text box.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's worked brilliantly for us.
Yeah. Agreed.
And then we'll get in the therapist. And no, just joking.
I thought that was your job.
Yeah, sometimes it is. It feels like it, and that's the good part about getting through these, especially divorces. Is it builds you up so much. But if you feel like you're being torn apart sometimes in the middle of them, I've actually had clients almost fist fighting with me standing in the middle. No joke.
Ready. Go. Ding, ding, ding.
Well, the sad thing is I couldn't do much because I just took a Hot Pocket out of their freezer, and I was eating the Hot Pocket. I was hungry. It was like 7 o'clock at night. Not even joking.
I just want to... I hope you all got a picture of Kyle just digging in with like pepperoni.
It was, too.
Hot Pocket, and it's steaming. And the first bite burned his tongue because that's what those dang things do.
Yeah.
Can't taste anything for the rest of the night.
So,
I didn't expect us to be talking about Hot Pockets, but that's what I love about you, brother. All right, man. Well, hey, you guys, if you've made it this far, have made it through the end of episode 1 of The Real Contrast. I'm Brian K.
And I'm Kyle A.
Appreciate you guys. Hey, watch us for more episodes coming up. We've got a YouTube channel, and if you guys want more in-depth content or you guys want to suggest some topics that you'd like to hear, drop us a line. You guys keep it real.
Thank you so much.